Good morning to you all, and thank you very much for joining us. Today we're going to be looking at UK government policy and COVID, those people traveling to the UK, and also those people coming to the UK. What is the government policy? The legal requirement? What is it that they need to do? What forms do they have to complete? And also the impact. The forms. If you complete the forms, what is it going to be used for? We're going to be looking at that. And if you need to do COVID test, where can you do the test if you are traveling from the UK to other countries? So we'll be looking at that as well. So if you've just joined us, share the program for us so that our people can also benefit from the program. We will also be looking at EU Settlement Scheme, why the need to apply. I know that I've been banging on this radio so many times, but then again, it seems that the message has not gone through. So we will keep banging on so that people understand the need to apply for EU settlement card or the indefinite card. We will also be looking at employment law updates. What is happening? We shall also be looking at online right to rent checks, which has been launched by the Home Office. And we'll also be looking at small changes to student and short-term student routes from 1st of December 2020. Thank you once again for joining us. Good morning to you, wherever you are. Today's date is the 14th of November 2020 of the year of our Lord. If you have just tuned in, I would encourage you to share the program for us. By so doing, you will be educating also your brother, also your sister. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank you all for tuning in every Saturday and for sharing the program every Saturday. Through your participation, I could see that the program is getting far, despite the fact that we are not doing it from the studio due to COVID. And COVID is something that I always say should be taken very, very, very seriously. People are dying like flies. And there has been rumors about people dying from COVID. And I always say this. We need to be very, very, very careful. Especially those who have recently traveled into the country. And those people who are traveling outside the country. And they need to take COVID test, and the need to go into isolation when they need be. Why am I saying this? Because as we all know, the R rate is on the up, especially in the UK. It is precisely the reason why the government did introduce this lockdown. Those watching us from outside the UK is on a lockdown. England and Wales, in particular England, we are in a lockdown, and therefore our movement is somehow restricted in order for the government and for the people to be able to curb the rise of the infection rate. Because of that, while the government is also trying to do his best to bring some normality into our lives, the restriction is not that severe. And at the moment, the government is saying you can only go out if you fall within the exceptions in the UK. And the exception, say you are going to work, you cannot do that work from home. You are exercising, you are going to buy the basic necessities, your groceries. In that instance, then of course you have lawful excuse to be able to what? To be able to go out. But unfortunately, I think the message is very clear, but people are not taking it very, very serious. And if you are catched, if police catch you, if police stop you without any lawful excuse, then you could be issued with a fine. In some cases, you could go to prison. So we need to take it serious. The COVID is still out there. People are dying like flies. And as a result, we ought to take it very, very serious. One thing about this COVID is that, some people have very strong immune system. And as a result, they are able to resist the virus. But others may not. So you may catch it. You may be fit and strong enough to be able to resist. You may not be, you will not succumb to the, to the virus, but someone may. So it's not only about you protecting yourself. It's also about looking out for your brothers and your sisters, your neighbors, your work colleagues, as well as anyone that you deal with on a daily basis. If you're not doing it for yourself, then you ought to do it for them. At least you owe them that duty. You owe them that obligation. So it is important that we all do the best that we can and fight against this virus. This virus attack prominent people. It also attack the layman. This virus has got no boundaries. Whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are arrogant, whether you are humble, whether you are a politician or whether you are the market woman, it matters not. Once it catches you, and especially if you have an underlying condition, it puts you in a very dangerous, situation. So for this reason, the UK government, and in order to be able to perhaps contain this virus and reduce the reinfection rate, has introduced something called passenger locator form. That means anyone coming into the country will have to complete this passenger locator form. What is this about? The passenger locator form asks you 3 basic questions. And it asks you to complete a form. And on the forms, you need to put your passport details on the form. Anyone being a British citizen or not, you have to complete passenger locator form when you are coming to the United Kingdom. I've had a lot of inquiries in this respect. That is the reason why I decided to talk about this today, so that it will help a lot of people. So that is the idea. Our idea is to educate as much as we can, and that is what we intend doing. So you complete a passenger locator form. The form will ask you to do what? The form will ask you to write your passport details, and also it will ask you to write your travel details, including times and dates. So wherever you have been to, you need to write those details. And lastly, you'll also have to write your address where you'll be staying in the UK, if applicable. The government guidelines suggest that you can submit the form anytime in the 48 hours before you arrive in the United Kingdom. And you can actually complete these forms online. You can also include multiple journeys in your form if you will enter the UK more than once within 48-hour period. The service is a free service and you do not need to pay anything. So this is something that you can do online. It is also important because people are wondering, why do you need to give this information out? Is the government going to track you? Is the government going to use the information against you? This is something that a lot of people are asking. So, the information that you give out, the government guidelines suggest that they will use this information to contact you in case someone that you traveled with develop a coronavirus symptoms. So for example, you are on a plane and everyone is completing one of these forms, and it transpires that one of the passengers has got coronavirus. If it happens like that, then of course, anyone who was on the plane needs to be contacted by using this passenger locator form information, so that you can then isolate yourself, so that you will not also spread it to other people. So you see the logic, you see the common sense behind this program. Because if you don't know it, you could end up also doing what? Passing it on to people by mingling with others. You may not know that you have it, and therefore indirectly you could be a carrier of this virus, and in effect you'll be passing it on to people. So the whole idea is so that the government will be able to locate you. That is the name, passenger locator form. So that if you are located, then you can be isolated. And once you can be isolated, then you can be treated. You see, so the idea, the logic behind the whole idea of locator form is for the government to be able to track or trace or locate you. And once you are located, then you can be contacted. Once you are contacted and you know that, the people that you traveled with, one of them have developed COVID-19, then you can be advised, and therefore the necessary action can then be taken. Because the whole idea is to reduce the infection rate and to limit the infection rate. So for me, it is not a bad idea to complete the form. And in fact, I will encourage any passenger to complete their forms, because at the end of the day, if you don't complete the forms and you don't give the right information, how would you expect the government to be able to protect vulnerable people within our communities? So it is important that when you get to the airport, you complete the forms as accurate as you can, give accurate information, be straight and tell them, so that in an event that you need to be contacted, then they can then contact you, locate you, and then isolate you, so that inadvertently you will not pass it on to someone else. So I think it's very, very important that we all complete these forms. What it is this: the information that you provide will be kept by the UK government for 42 days. And if there is no action required, then of course the information will be deleted or will be destroyed. So it is very, very, very important that we all understand this, and we all need to do what is necessary in order to help the government, to help each other to be able to help reduce the infection rate. The last time I checked, the infection rate is more than 1%, and therefore is dangerous. And as they say, the infection rate, once you get it, you will infect 3 people. 3 people will also infect another 3 groups of people. So 3 times 3 will be 9. If 9 people get it, they will also affect times 3. And then 27, and you keep multiplying by 3, by 3, by 3. And you can tell that, it's very, very dangerous. Because as we are all infecting other people, the more people will end up dying. And the more people end up dying, the more we are losing our loved ones. And all that you need to do is to do what? Is to do the best that you can, and do what? And complete the forms. The form is not going to be used to arrest anybody, but the form is to ensure that we keep track of everyone, and if there is a need, to contact people so that they will become aware of the environment that they were in, the environment and the possibility that they may have contracted the virus, and the need for them to self-isolate in order not to affect other people. I know that when people are asked to complete these forms, they start thinking all sorts. And for me, it's very, very important that we all adhere to this and complete the forms as much as we can, so that we can help the government and our communities to contain this virus. However, if you are traveling to the United Kingdom from Ireland, which is the Republic of Ireland, when we talk about the United Kingdom of Great Britain, we are talking about 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. When we talk about the United Kingdom of Great Britain, you are talking about England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. So these 4 countries forms the Union of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Southern part of Ireland, which is the Republic of Ireland, is not part of the United Kingdom. And as a result, they have their own policies. However, if you are traveling from Republic of Ireland to any part of the United Kingdom, you don't need to complete any of this form. They are exempted. So we need to be aware of this. You don't need to complete this form. If you are from the Channel Islands, also, you don't need to complete this form. And if you are from Isle of Man, also, you don't need to complete these forms. What I will also say is this: any information that you provide to the government on the government website, if there is any changes, you need to inform them. So it is very, very important that we understand what is happening in relation to people coming into the country. This raises the question as to what about those leaving the country? What is it that they need to do so that they don't encounter any problems? And for the purposes of this program, I will use Ghana as an example. What you need to do if you are traveling to Ghana. There are so many other nationalities watching me live and listening to this program. And Marie, thank you very much for bringing this to my attention. So that the Gambian communities, we are really enjoying your program. But when you speak too fast. So today, consciously, I think I am speaking very, very, very slow. But if you still feel that maybe I am speaking too fast, please let me know. Because sometimes when you are in the flow, you don't realize that maybe you are speaking too fast. So by all means, the Gambian communities watching me live, if you feel that I'm speaking too fast, just let me know and I will do the best that I can, and maybe speak very slow for you. At the moment, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm speaking very, very slow, but maybe that may not be the case for you. If that is the case, just let me know, and then we will take it from there. And all those people who have also tuned in, watching me live, Mr. Kweku Bansa, we will speak this afternoon. I know that you tried to contact me. I can see that on my phone. I also tried to contact you. I couldn't get you. You couldn't get me. So we will speak after the program. Mr. Emmanuel Ishen, that is Mr. Ishen. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Frank Kwame Owusu, Mr. Kwame Peche, thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Akwesi Anoche, good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us. And I hope you are good. Yes, thank you very much. Mr. Alexander Ofosi, also thank you very much for joining us. And Mr. E.K. Osei, Mr. Emmanuel Kwejo Osei, baby ubia ye chiachao ene anopei. Yes, Mr. Osei no, baby ye chiachao. Atakakra, also good morning to you. Mr. Samuel Owusu Ansan, thank you for joining us. Joe Ban, also thank you for joining us. Vivian Esibe, good morning to you. George Amwa, good morning to you. I hope the family is doing okay, and all people at New Addington, they are doing good. Mr. Kofi Richard, also wherever you are, good morning to you. Christiana Intiwa, good morning to you. Lester Na Onapo, also good morning to you. Bismarck Akwesi Adams, wherever you are, I salute you. Mamiya Edukumwa Opoku, wherever you are, Milton Keynes, good morning to you. My own boss, Mr. PC, Michael Amma, good morning to you. Jeff Amwatin, Stobeg Boachi, wherever you are, good morning to you. Mav Dank Danso, wherever you are, good morning to you. Edu Amankwa Efia, also good morning to you, and thank you for tuning in. All those who have joined us, please do share the program. Mr. Victor Bonsu, Bua Bonsu, wherever you are, good morning to you. I need to call you as well. I know that you've been chasing me It's been a very hectic week, but thank God it's been a very, very successful week. God has been doing wonders at Justice and Law Solicitors, and God will continue to do wonders. We thank you all for your support through the continuous referral that you are all doing. Is keeping me very, very, very busy, and I do appreciate that big time. Mr. Prince Anderson, Ghanaian, British, Jamaican, wherever you are, we thank you, and also for joining us. Nana Hima, Nkoswa Hima, Teresa Sakobia, wherever you are, good morning to you. And promise, we also thank you for joining us. Keep sharing the program until you can share no more. So we have looked at completing passenger locator form and the need to complete that form. Now, let's look at if you are living in the UK. If you are traveling outside the UK, what is it that you need to do and how it works? Some time ago, when Ghana opened its borders again to the international community, back in early September, I'm sure that we all heard about the COVID test that you need to take once you reach Kotoka International Airport, and the fee involved, which people were claiming to be about $150 US. Some people were not happy about it. Some people complain about it. The morality of the fees, I am not a politician, and therefore I'm not going to comment about it. Whether it is right, whether it is wrong, that one I will leave it to the individuals to make up their own minds. But for me, I think one way or the other, the test must be carried out. I think it's very, very important that we are able to identify whether someone has got the virus or not. Once we are able to identify the individual, then of course action can then be taken so that the individual can be isolated, and therefore if the individual is isolated, then the individual can be treated. It is very, very, very important, because the key is to locate, isolate, and treat. The key is to locate, isolate, and treat. Because if you don't do that, if you don't know that you have the condition, if you don't know that you have the virus, it's not rocket science. You are going to infect a lot of people. And as you are infecting people, you are going to kill people without knowing that you are killing people. And hence, the need to be able to, from the first point of entry, to be able to carry out this test. As to whether who pays for it, that one, I will leave it for the individuals to kind of, come to their own conclusion. But whether right or wrong, it must be done. Whether right or wrong, someone have to pay for it. So it's either the government is paying for it or the individuals, we are paying for it. And for me, if I have to pay for it and save someone's life, so be it. Because £150 cannot save life. Money cannot buy life. And this week, a lot has happened. Prominent people have passed on. Money, if money can buy life, no doubt, people have paid money to save their lives. But unfortunately, money cannot buy life, and therefore it is important that we do these tests are carried out. So, if you are traveling from the United Kingdom to places like Ghana, for example, what is it that you need to do? What is it that you must do? It is important that you do what I'm going to be talking about. It is important that the necessary action is taken so that we inadvertently, we don't affect other people. So in this country, if you are traveling to Ghana, there are things that you must do before you travel. And these days you have to do what they called self-PCR saliva test and certification. You need to do COVID test. But with the COVID test, they have different types. And this one here, I will recommend to you. is carried out by Anglia DNA. It only costs about 80 to 90 pounds. And if you tell them that you are a Ghanaian and that you got the details from Justice and Law Solicitors, they will give you a discount. Justice and Law Solicitors, I have this good relationship with this company. Even when it comes to DNA, and you mentioned the name of Justice and Law Solicitors, that alone will save you 20% of the fees. So all those people who have come through Justice and Law Solicitors, they have benefited from that discount. So now, Anglia DNA testing services also do this COVID test. And all that you have to do is to go on their website, complete the forms, or if you like, just give them a call, you know, and they will do a fabulous, fantastic job for you. So what happens is you ring them up or you complete the forms online. You ring them up or you complete the forms online. Once you complete the forms, they will send you a kit, which they call self-collection PCR saliva test kit. You complete the forms, and what do? You take the forms back to them, and within 24 to 48 hours, they will carry out the test. And once the test is carried out, and you are free from the coronavirus, then they will then issue you with a certificate. And once you are issued with the certificate, you must travel within 72 hours to the country that you are going. So it is very, very important that you time your travel to perfection, because most countries will accept the test certificate if it has been carried out within 3 to 5 days before you depart. So to be on the safe side, I would say that if you know that you are going to travel perhaps maybe on Monday, then weekends, most companies do not work. So ensure that by Wednesday, you give them the test certificate, the test a sample for them to carry out the test. They say that it will take them within 24 to 48 hours. So within 2 days. So by Tuesday, you should receive the test certificate. And the beauty of the test certificate is that not only will they send it to you, but they will also do what? Send it to you by soft copy. So the soft copy, what would then happen is that it will be on your phone. And when you get to Kotoka International Airport, you can physically show it to them that you are free from COVID-19. And therefore, the hassle will be less hassle. But by saying that, once you get to Kotoka International Airport, that does not mean that the test that you have done in the UK is sufficient. It will be enough for you not to carry out another test. No, you will do another test over there, whether you like it or not, because each country is trying to protect themselves. And therefore, the fact that you have done it in the UK does not mean Ghana should easily accept it. Why are they doing it again? Because they are, being double sure. Because let's assume that by the time that we carried out the test, you have gone and mingled with someone who suffers from COVID-19. So within that short period of time, after carrying the test or after getting your swab done, you have gone and infected yourself with COVID-19 virus. And as a result, within that short window, you could have, contracted the virus. And, by traveling to another country, you could have still, done what? Infected others. So in order for the country to be able to protect its citizens. They don't care whether you've done the test in the UK. Once you go to Ghana, for example, they will also ensure that you have done another test over there to ensure that within the window of taking the test in the UK and traveling to Ghana, the test is still valid, and that it is still safe. If you have contracted it within that window of 3 days, they can also pick it up over there, so that you can be isolated, and you can then be treated. The morale of it as to who pays for it, I'm not going to go there because I am not a politician. I don't make the law, whether it is right or wrong. That I know that 150 pounds plus maybe let's say 100 pounds in Ghana, and over here you pay say 80 pounds, 180 pounds, you could save someone's life. 180 pounds, you could save someone's visit to the hospital. Not only someone, because this infection, once it affects you, anyone that you come across, is very easy to infect or affect that person as well. Something that you may not know, but you could end up being an indirect killer by passing on to someone else. So please, let's not think about the money. Many a times, yes, it's not easy paying money. Nobody wants to pay money. Everyone is tight. Everyone is chisel. Lawyer Dakon, I don't joke with money. I am very sensible with money. Because of that, some people think I am tight, I am chisel. It's a matter of opinion. Like I say, you cannot change someone's opinion, but it matters how you react to it. So, if you are tight, someone say you are tight and you don't want to pay to do the COVID test, it is your choice. But I say, for the sake of your brother, man, for the sake of your sister, because at the end of the day, when you affect someone with this illness, with this virus, the person is taken to the hospital. The person is going to pay more than the 180 pounds that you would have paid from the first place in order to be able to get the clearance. It is very, very important. He who is not chiseled is a person who does not have a dime. It's as simple as that. We all save. You have to be chiseled to save. Because if you are not chiseled, you will not be able to save. It's common sense. And therefore, everyone is chiseled. Everyone is selfish. Man is just self-control. That is a fact of life. So it is important that we save where we need to save. But we spend where we need to spend. And you have to be economical with your resources. That is the sensible thing to do. And a wise man will apply the principles of economics, the cost and the benefit. The cost and benefit, ceteris paribus. If you look at the cost of passing on this virus to a lot of people, with the possibility that some may die as a consequences, and the cost of paying about 180 pounds to save those lives, in an opportunity cost, which one is more severe? The cost of saving life and the cost of paying 180 pounds. I believe that any rational, normal, reasonable people will rather pay the money and save lives. Like Bob Marley said, one of my legends, money cannot buy life. So it is important. If we need to do that, we should do it with love. We should not pay or do it grudgingly. Because at the end of the day, when you travel to Ghana and you don't want to do it, and you don't do it, you don't come to my house. You don't come to my family house. All things being equal, the possibility of mingling with outsiders is less than mingling with your own family members. And therefore, the chances of contracting the virus and infecting your own family members is higher. So if because of 180 pounds, you want to go home, go to see your mama and your papa and your brothers and sisters and other family members with the risk of knowing that you have the virus, with the risk that you are going to infect them with it, and you want to save that 180 pounds, and take that risk, for me, it makes no logical sense. So please, let's do the best that we can to help the government, to fight this virus. And therefore, they need to carry out this test. They need to get this certificate and save lives. In Ghana, for example, if you have a family member who has acquired a visa, who is coming to the UK, I will say to you, also, if they are coming, they must have the COVID test certificate. Even if they done one in Ghana, to satisfy the Ghana government, they must also do one. They must have a certificate when they are traveling to the UK. And if they don't have the certificate, the chances of getting entry is going to be very, very, very unlikely. So now, anyone traveling to the UK, whether for a visit, whether for settlement, Lawyer Darko, on behalf of Justice and Law Solicitors, I will say to you, get the COVID test certificate. And in Ghana, these are the approved laboratories that do the test. Please, after the show, don't call me and say, lawyer, I did not get the name. I will simply direct you back to Facebook, go and play it and listen to it. Because the time that we have to use to do other things is the time that people will call us and they want us to go back and repeat everything that we have talked about today. And therefore, our time is going to be wasted. The person does not want to waste his time to listen to the audio again, but yet he will be expecting you to waste your time to repeat information that you have given out freely. I beg, please, help us so that we can also help. Now, this is the list of laboratories in Ghana who provide this test. National Public Health Reference Laboratory. They do this test. If you want their details, simply go online and Google it. All their details will come up. Also, Nogochi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. They also do this test. Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research. They also do this test. Veterinary Services Department, Laboni. They also do this test. Veterinary Services Department, Takoradi, they also do this test. Public Health Reference Laboratory, Tamale, they also do this test. Public Health Reference Laboratory, Sekandi, Takoradi, the Twin City. University Health and Allied Science Laboratory, Ho, they also do this test. MIT, MDS Lancet, East Legon, they also do this test. Naho Diagnostics Laboratory, Accra, they also do this test. Akai House Laboratory, they also do this test. Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Accra, they also do this test. And LED Medical Laboratory, they also do this test. And the Trust Hospital Company Limited, they also do this test in Ghana. So if you have a family member, family friend, anyone visiting the United Kingdom, these are the test centers that they can visit and get the test done. I will pause here and take a break. And then when we come back, we will look at EU settlement scheme, right to rent checks, changes to student and short-term student routes from 1st of December 2020. And then we will also be looking at some changes in relation to employment law. I will bring your mind to one or two. So let's go to our sponsors and listen to some adverts. And when we come back, we will continue the program. All those who have joined us, once again, I cannot thank you enough. The number of referrals that we are getting, I don't know how to thank you. this week, I had the privilege of speaking to a very honorable lady, and basically someone passed the number to the person to call for a legal advice, and I am very, very, glad that I was able to assist. Even though she did not mention the person's name, I know that a lot of people are doing a lot of work on my behalf by spreading the good news, and also referring people to justice and law. I cannot thank you enough. Without you, there is no way that I'll have the energy and the strength even to come to you today, to your rooms, to your houses, through the magic medium of social media. So I will forever be grateful to you all. May the Lord Almighty God bless you all. Let's take this commercial break, and when we come back, we will continue the program. Like I said, I don't know how to thank you. We do appreciate all your support, direct and indirect support, and the free adverts that you are also doing on behalf of Justice and Law Solicitors. Yadamasi. Let's take this break. When we come back, we continue.
And so a nam no cry asantino who send ya who bet manisika say wachima. It's in a yenny paradise city. Ya did this beautiful ultramodern city Abatema community 25 open standard executive semi-executive quality buildings that yenny paradise city ye wa homa it's asking ye dia brochure abagana ntino ye payment terms no so and a phone book open self finance and as a monkey Paradise City. Oh, your telephone number so UK +447 908 475 802. Paradise City. Ye juma pa magana ye fe ankasa. Megaphone, we yabanka, wow, would die, Papa be our Ghana, and so a nam no cry asantino, who send ya, who bet manisika, say wachima. It's in a yenny paradise city. Ya did this beautiful ultramodern city Abatema community 25 open standard executive semi-executive quality buildings that yenny paradise city. Ye wa homa it's asking ye dia brochure abagana ntino ye payment terms no so and a phone book open self finance and as a mortgage Paradise City. Oh, your telephone number so UK +447 908 475 802. Paradise City. Ye juma pa magana ye fe ankasa. Megaphone, we yabanka, wow, would die, Papa be our Ghana, and so a nam no cry asantino, who send ya, who bet manisika, say wachima. It's
that God has a covenant with you. Therefore, you shall never be put to shame. For how any say and a woo Justice and Law Solicitor said, Bomadiana Brandon, your mumedi home como, on the mouth and futu, Nasaya, dear, so to one more, on the bow, no to one more. Immigration and answer nationality problems. Say a student application, family independent application. So pass it now, Kuma, and now lawyer been waging our name, our court amount, personal injury claims. Say employment, landlord and tenant issue or housing issue, family and divorce issues. Drafting legal document, will writing, renting and leasing shop, lease extension. Open a juicy canon persuade amount. And you near Kawakuma to him now how you know to a trap. But more than any justice and law solicitors for Nkasa. 075-3896-9589. And I said 0207-738-5841. But more than afraid justice and law solicitors. Na ye kwanya ye be faso a ye be wow. Obe wo Unit 35 5 Eurolink Business Center, 49 Efra Road, Brixton, SW21BZ. Like I said, we have Victoria Line to Bristol, bus 2, 3, 37, 415, 432, 689 and 690. Seawalk St. Andrew's Church Pastor. Sempa Emra Samodia Baby, here any justice and law solicitors.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us, and also for hanging about whilst we were on a commercial break. We are back, and I think today I need to take my time and go through this settlement scheme issue so that people will get a better understanding. I know that we've been talking about this for some time, but it strikes me every week that people are still not aware of this. Through conversations that I have had with people this week, I felt that there is a need maybe to take my time and explain the settlement scheme system to our listeners so that they can also pass on the message to people, so that we can all educate ourselves, because there is a lot of ignorance out there when it comes to this settlement scheme. And I don't know whether people don't listen to the program, or even if they do, whether they don't understand it, or whether if they do understand it, they have not taken the the initiatives or the steps to basically to do something about their situation. I don't know why up to now people don't seem to get it. People don't seem to get it. The conversation that I've had. On Monday morning, I had a client who called me, and in a very, very frantic mood or situation, talking about the EU settlement scheme that she has not applied, that she was not aware of this. She only became aware when by chance she went on a Facebook and she was listening to my program, and that she's calling to find out a bit more information and what she needs to do in order to be able to secure herself and also her children. I say this, justice and law, we have a lot of clients, we deal with a lot of people, and we cannot remember everyone. Sometimes it's very difficult. As much as we want to reach out to all of our clients and advise them, educate them about the need to apply for EU settlement scheme visa, we have managed to remember some of them. We have been able to reach out to some of them, but unfortunately there is going to be one or two people that we may not be able to identify and educate them about the settlement scheme. So today I'm going to take my time. If anyone need information about the settlement scheme, please do the best that you can and send this program to them. If you are a church, send it to the church WhatsApp. If you are in any organization, any group, just cut it, paste it there. You may be saving someone's life. This settlement scheme, some politicians have named it as the second Windrush, because what happened to the Windrush generation And I will say this again, I've said it before. The same thing is going to happen to some people. Because the Windrush generation, when they first came to the UK, they had a right of free passage to the UK. Some of them were British citizens. Some of them had automatic indefinite leave to remain. However, once they had indefinite leave to remain and they were able to open bank accounts, get into the system, they went to sleep. Some of them did not even bother to apply for British passport. And as we all know, immigration and nationality law is one of the most fast changing areas of law in the UK. Almost every day you sleep, you wake up, the law has changed. And as a result, before they knew it, 10 years has passed, 20 years has passed, 30 years has passed. The law has changed so much. And also people working at the Home Office, even the caseworkers, when they came in, the applicable laws, these caseworkers were not even born at the time. And therefore, they may not even know the applicable laws at the time. So you go to claim, say, job seekers allowance. The person is only about 24 years of age. The person doesn't know the law about 40 years ago. The person will only be looking at the applicable law today. And all that the person will ask you is, where's evidence of your right to stay in the UK? And then you turn around and say, what are you asking me? And the person says, well, if I don't see any evidence of your right to stay in the UK, I'm not granting it. I'm not giving it. And then since you cannot prove it, you don't get it. And as a result, a lot of people died as a result because they were living in the UK, they've lost their documentations, and even though they are in the system, but they could not prove it. So a settlement scheme, what is it? A settlement scheme is a process or is a system that the UK government has introduced to replace the European law, which is applicable now until 31st of December 2020. So all the rights the European citizens and their family members enjoyed under European law, European regulations, from 1st of January 2021, the European law will cease to operate in the UK because UK is coming out of the European Union. So the UK government, in its own wisdom, said that since we are coming out and European law is not going to be applicable to the United Kingdom, I am going to incorporate or make up my own law under British immigration law, but based on the European law. So in a way, it's accepting the European law through UK legislation. So that means UK law under Appendix FM and also under the withdrawal agreement as it stands today. European law is applicable here, but from 1st of January, European law will no longer be applicable. So any remedy that you may have, you have to go and refer to the immigration rules, Appendix EU of the immigration rules. You cannot make any reference to European law. No, from 1st of January. Any reference that you make, you have to make it to the British immigration law. So it is for this reason that the UK government is announcing, telling people that you must apply under immigration law, even if you have acquired certain rights under European law. So what does that mean? This means European nationals and their family members, they need to apply for settlement or pre-settlement scheme under EU settlement scheme in order for them to be able to continue to live in the UK. So what this means is that even if you are European national and you do not apply for settlement or pre-settlement scheme visa under Europe, under immigration law, from 1st of January, you could be vulnerable. In some cases, from 1st of July 2021, you could be vulnerable. Why am I stating two separate dates? I am stating two separate dates because if there is a deal, if the United Kingdom and the European Union are able to strike a trade deal, then in that case, European nationals, those who are holding European passports, living and working in the UK, this will be extended up to 30th of June 2021. So that means they will have a grace period from 1st of January 2021 to 30th of June 2021 to apply for settlement or pre-settlement scheme if and only if you are holding European passport. If you are not holding European passport, you are not European national, but instead you are a family member of an European national. And in that sense, you have up to 31st of December. You have up to 31st of December to apply. Because if you don't apply by 31st of December, you can find yourself in MS. You could find yourself in MS. So it is very, very important that we understand these two distinctions. Because if you mix it up, you're going to get confused. And if you get confused, you're going to end up doing the wrong thing. And if you end up doing the wrong thing, you could be kicked out of this country at some point. If not tomorrow, if not now, it's going to be tomorrow. So it is important that if you're a European national, a family member of a European national, and you have not applied for settlement scheme visa or pre-settlement scheme visa, you must do so now. Because if you don't, you could be deemed to be an illegal person in the UK at some point. And therefore, you must do what? You must apply. It does not matter whether you have acquired permanent residency document. It does not matter whether you have acquired residency permit. As long as you have not applied for settlement scheme, your right to live and work in the UK is being put in jeopardy. And therefore, you must apply. Many a times people come with argument that, oh, but I have permanent residency. Why should I apply? I cannot force you to apply, but what I know is that at some point, you could end up being removed from this country or being deported from this country or having difficulties in proving your right to stay in this country if you do not change that attitude and apply for it now. Because some people have chip over their shoulders and they think that they can do whatever they want and therefore there is no need to apply. All those people with too no attitude, you can be too no today, but believe in me, when it hit the fan, we will know who will run and who will stay. It's very important that you listen to the voice of reason and to the voice of advice and do the right thing by you and also your family members. So in short, all that I will say is this. If you are a European national living in the UK and you have not applied for the settlement or pre-settlement scheme for yourself and your family members, you must do so now. In order to avoid any complications, do it before 31st of December 2020. Where do you need to go and do it? There is only one place. Come to Justice and Law, because we believe that through operation of the law, we can do you justice and we can do what? We can do the right thing by you. So it is very, very important that you do what? That you do that. It's important. The EU settlement scheme, as we all know it, it allows you, the EEA national or the EU national, and your family members to get the immigration status that you need in order to continue to live and work and study in the United Kingdom. This status also means you can be eligible for public services such as healthcare and schools, public funds and pension, British citizenship if you meet the requirements and you want to apply. It is very, very important. Countries within the European Union: Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. Republic of Ireland, as we all know, they have a good relationship with the UK, and even before the European Union, they had their own, if you like, system in place where Irish people were able to come and go as they please, and as a result, they are exempted, if you like, from applying. You know, they may choose to apply, they may choose not to apply. But if you come from Republic of Ireland, you know, you have automatic right to stay in the UK and work in the UK. This has been the case even before the inception of the European Union in the UK. So that is how it is. Also, like I said, non-EU family members living in the UK, you have up to 31st of December 2020 to apply for the settlement scheme. Close family members who are not living in the UK by 31st of December 2020 will be able to join their EU family members in the UK at any point in the future, as long as the relationship still exists. So the current policy is this: if you are EU national, a family member of an EU national, and you have applied for the settlement scheme, your close family members, that is your children, your mother, they will be able to join you in the UK. But this is whereby there is a deal. If there is no deal, UK can do whatever that they want. So for me, if you're a family member or you are married to an EU national and you want to bring your family members, as we don't know whether there's going to be a deal, I will advise you and I will suggest to you, there is no day like today. Do it now in order to avoid possible future complications. So close family members, you can still come to the UK. However, family members do not need to be from the European Union. They can come from anywhere in the world. So close family members, even after we come out, you can still make an application to join your EU national if they have applied for the settlement scheme visa and they are in the UK exercising their treaty rights. Now, the question that someone has posed, or say someone just sent, which I was going to talk about. As we all know, as it is at the moment, if you are European national and you apply for the settlement scheme visa, what happens is that once the application is approved, they will simply give you a letter, and the letter will simply state that you have been granted whether settlement or pre-settlement status, and you can access it online, and you can use that to prove your right to work and stay in the UK to someone else through the online system. So if you're a European national, unfortunately, you will not be given any card. The old one, they will give you some blue card, but these days, they will simply give you a piece of paper, a letter that confirms that you have applied for the settlement scheme and you've been granted a settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme visa, only that letter. And you can access it online. Non-Europeans, such as people from Ghana and other countries, when you apply and you have not been issued with a biometric residency permit card in any other category, then they will give you a biometric residency card under EU settlement scheme visa scheme. However, if you have been issued with a card under the old system, the UK government will not grant you a card. They will simply give you a letter, and the letter says that you have been granted settlement status or pre-settlement status. You see, the difficulty and the challenge is this. Come 1st of January, we are no longer bound by European law. The card that you are holding will have on it permanent residency issued under European regulations. So from 1st of January, the European regulations is no longer applicable in the UK. And therefore, if you travel and you are coming into the country on 1st of January, a layman on the streets, a layman that is sitting at the immigration desk will simply see the card and will simply see that the visa has been issued under European regulations. And therefore, by using common sense, since we are out of the European Union and European regulations is no longer applicable in the UK, the person may be forgiven for thinking that your card is not valid. You see, this is the problem. However, within the legal field, we know that if they scan the card, it's not going to show European regulations, but instead it's going to show Appendix UU of the immigration rules. That means the card is being tied to the immigration rules, and therefore the information behind the card will show that the card is valid under immigration law as opposed to European law. But the problem is how many officers will take their time to check the card, to scan the card, to ensure that the card is valid under immigration law as opposed to European law. So it is for this reason that Lawyer Darko, Justice and Law Solicitors, we are banging on that if you have even done the settlement scheme or the pre-settlement scheme, it is also important that you do the next step. The next step is to apply for EU Settlement Scheme Card. Sometimes people call me and say, Lawyer, how did you send me the link so that I can apply for it? I also have to make a living. That is the reason why I do this work. So you also have to come, see me, pay me some money so that I can do it for you. So those who are calling and wanting everything for free, I cannot do that because I also have to make a living. So if you call and I don't give it to you, I also have to protect my interest. Everyone is selfish. Man is self-control. So that is how it is. So I'm encouraging all my clients also to try their best and apply for the EU Settlement Scheme Card so as to avoid any embarrassment, so as to avoid anyone disrespecting you. Because once we come out of the European Union and you are going to look for work, believe in me, and you are holding the old card, you are going to have difficulties because some human resources will simply look at the card. This visa has been issued under European regulations. Hold on for 1 minute. We have come out of the European Union. So why are you showing me this card? Is it valid? I don't think this card is valid. These are the problems that people are going to have. And all the time, you will have to go on and explain yourself that because I'm holding this card, UK government only issued me this paper. The question is, are they going to believe you? And sometimes you may not be there to be able to justify yourself. So you are going to look for work. I mean, let's be realistic here. Whether we like it or not, human beings, as long as we continue to be human beings, we all have our prejudice. We all have our isms and schisms. I'm going to repeat this. As long as we continue to be human beings, we are going to have our isms and schisms. And therefore, if I am an employer and I've got about 5 candidates, as an example, they've all come for an interview. I've interviewed all of them. And all things being equal, all of them qualify for the vacancy. If I need to recruit one of them, one is holding a European passport, one is holding British passport, one is holding a Ghanaian passport with the card, which has been issued under European regulations, plus a letter showing that the person has applied for the settlement scheme and the pre-settlement scheme visa. If I don't know anything about the law, unfortunately, the first thing I would do is to deselect the Ghanaian. I will put him to one side. Because looking at the paperwork, in my mind, all things being equal, I'm going to start thinking the visa that he's showing me has been issued under European regulations. The card that he's showing me has been issued under European regulations. And therefore, I cannot do what? I cannot simply accept that the card is valid because we are out of the European Union from 1st of January. My prejudice, my stigma, and my ignorance will push me indirectly to disqualify someone who is otherwise qualified to apply for that position. That aside, I'll be looking at the British person, I'll be looking at the European person. We are out of the European Union. The person is giving me European passport. What shows that the person has got the right to stay and work in the UK post 1st of January 2020? My prejudice, my ignorance will help me to put it aside. And therefore, if I'm looking at someone with a British passport, the person doesn't need permission to be here. The person doesn't need permission to work in the UK. For my own selfish needs and interest, I will simply perhaps pick that person, all things being equal. So this is the reason why I am saying that even if you have applied under the settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme, if you are non-European, you can apply for the card as well. And it is important, I will say this to you, that we all try and apply for the card if you are non-European. The European nationals, they don't issue card at this stage. They will simply give you a letter if you are European national. So what I would say to European nationals are that if you have already applied, go to their website and print out, i.e. your status from the Home Office website, and add it to your passport so that when you go look for work, you can then show it to them. If they need be, you can send them the link so that they can check it themselves and be satisfied that you have done what? You have done the settlement scheme, and by law, you have the right to stay and work in the UK. Now, let's go to the right to rent checks. As we all know, if you have applied for the settlement scheme, you can also log into the system at any time. And Justice and Law Solicitors, we have taken it upon ourselves to educate our clients. As soon as their papers come in, and we go through with them and we show them how it is done. So it's not only are we getting papers for people, we are also teaching them valuable lessons that they can also use to equip themselves to deal with whatever is coming post 1st of January 2020. We show them how it is done, how they can access it online, so that anywhere that they are, if the need arises, they are able to log on into the system, and send people a link so that they can check it. So now, if you're going to rent a place, the right to rent, the government says that, estate agents and landlords have to check the individuals have the right to stay in the UK in order for them to be able to rent. Once again, the system is so good that now, anyone that you want them to be able to access your status in the UK, you can send them a link and a code, and they can then use that to do what? To access the Home Office website so that they can check your status in the UK. So, for example, if I am a family member of an European national, come to Justice and Law. Once we sort you out, we will show you how it is done and also how to send someone the link and also the code so that they can do what? They can also have access to your information at the Home Office through view and prove your right to work and stay in the UK website, which is Home Office website. So that is something that we ought to be aware of. So that's what I would say about the EU settlement scheme and the need to apply. anyone who has acquired a visa through European angle, anyone who has got a visa through marriage to an European national or being a dependent of an European national, and even the European nationals themselves must apply. In my case, in my advice is apply before 31st of December 2020. If you think you have applied and it's been for some time and you have not received any response, it is very possible that you did not complete the process. A lot of people have come to me and they tell me that they have applied 6 months, 1 year, they have not even received an acknowledgement letter from the Home Office. If that is the case, then I beg you, it's very possible that you did not complete the process, and therefore you need to come to Justice and Law. Let's investigate it, and if you have not completed the process, then we can then do it for you. Advice to employers as well, is also advisable. If you are an employer, you start applying for your sponsorship, because after 1st of January 2021, the free movement will end, and anyone coming from the European Union to the United Kingdom must apply for a work permit, and you must have an employer who is going to basically sponsor you in order to come in to work. So this is something that people have to be aware of. Also, in terms of the job support scheme, as we know, the government has extended it. So people have to watch out. Self-employment people, also the government is also making further grants available to you. Also businesses, from small businesses, you also have to keep up. Go to your local authority, go to their website and check it out. They will be sending information to people for them to make a claim for 1 month of November for the lockdown. So people should also watch out for that as well. So people need to be aware of this. Also, last week, one of our sisters called the show in terms of being given £31 or so for going into isolation. It was a bit odd. It is odd. It doesn't make that much sense. But what I've noticed is this, or I think what I should say is this. The government policy is that if you go in isolation, whether self-isolation or whether you have been asked to go into isolation for 10 days, 14 days, whatever, the government is saying is this: the period that you go in isolation must be treated as a sick leave, and therefore you should be allowed statutory sick pay. So if you are in isolation or you have been asked to go into isolation, whether 4 days, 7 days, whatever it may be, then you will be entitled to statutory sick pay. That is the minimum that you'll be expected to get paid. Now let's look at the statutory sick pay at the moment, the current rate, and therefore if you have not received that amount, then of course you need to go back to your employers and ask. It's very, very important, because statutory sick pay at the moment, the amount you should get per week is £95.85 a week. So if you have been given £31, I don't know what the £31 is for, whether it's for 1 day, whether it's half a day, whether it's for 2 days, I don't know. But it is important, if you don't understand it, that you get in touch with your employer to get clarification. Because if you just been paid £31 for the month or for a week, that does not make no sense. It means that you've been cheated. And therefore, the first thing that must be done is to find out from the employer what that £31 is for and how many days or how many hours it represents. Because by law, you must get at least £95.85 a week statutory sick pay, and you can get this for up to 28 days. is very, very important. You must get this for up to 28 days. If you have been exposed to COVID, then once again, it will be treated as a sick pay, statutory sick pay. And sick pay is not something that is taken from your holidays. So if the employer is trying to offset that against your normal holidays, that will be illegal as well. So whenever there is a conflict, I think the first thing that you ought to do is to speak to your employer. If you think that they are bullying you and they are not listening to you, at that stage, you can get lawyers involved. And then we can come in and help out. Because sometimes the legal fee that you pay is so expensive, and therefore you try to resolve it with the employer before before basically you go into it. So it will depend, but you need to speak to your employer first, establish what it is, So what the government says is this: at least minimum you're looking at about £95 a week for statutory sick pay. Then once again, it will also depend on the number of hours that you work. This is just a generalized sort of pay on the condition that you are working full time. But it will depend on the hours, and they have permutations of working it, which I do not have that information and too much knowledge about how it is calculated. But I can research this. If you get in touch with me and you need to find out exactly how it is worked, I'll be able to send you a link and a calculator, and you'll be able to work it out. Because the government have a calculator in which you can put in your hours and other factors that will be taken into consideration before coming to a conclusion. So by all means, if you want help in that respect, send me a text or something. I will send you the link, and then you can then do that. Someone also kindly sent us a contribution last week that if you are sick of and it's linked to coronavirus, the government has also made provisions available of £500 that you can also apply for that grant or for that money as well. So it's something that you could also look into it. So much is going on that the government is doing whatever they can to help people like yourself, people in your situation and in your circumstances. So by all means, these are things that you should also be watching out for. Today, because of time factor, I want to finish the program at exactly 1 o'clock so that I can get on with other stuff that I need to do. I have some people are in detention, facing deportation, and therefore I need to basically crack on and help them as much as I can. God being so good, we are working hard. One lady got in touch with me about a week or 2 weeks ago, and she was looking for someone to help with a deportation case. And hold and behold, she said that she called about 5 people, and everyone that he rang give her the same number: Justice and Law Solicitors, Lawyer Darko. Everyone was like, go to Lawyer Darko and you get a solution. Go to Lawyer Darko, you will get a solution. Go to Lawyer Darko, you will get a solution. Because of the trust and the faith that people have, have for me, I will make sure that any referral is justified. And I tell you, the woman is very, very happy, because of the confidence that people have in me. Confidence that she also had in me. Working together, everything worked like a clockwork. Everything that I told her is going to happen happened the same way. And today, she is celebrating, because of the confidence that people have, have for me. And sometimes it baffles me, and sometimes it scares me. The confidence that people have in me. And I will do everything that I can to ensure that every referral is justified. So I thank you all for your continuous support. May the Lord Almighty God continue to bless you all. We are going to activate the telephone lines. Okay, before I forget, let's look at the changes to the student and the short-term student routes. from 1st of December. And then we will activate the telephone lines briefly, and then we will bring the program to an end at say 1 o'clock, maximum 1:15. We need to bring the program to an end. We thank you for your understanding. Okay, now the student route. If you want more information, by all means, come and see us, and we will be able to help you. So by all means, they just the changes that I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about everything about student route. Maybe next week I will talk about it in deep, but now I will simply just be talking about the changes that that has been published. Now let's look at this. The government in September made some revisions to the student route, which came into force on 5th of October. And therefore, student route, we have something called short-term student routes from 1st of December. And this only applies to those people who are coming to the UK to do a short course for a maximum of 6 months. And what the government is saying is this. If you are coming or if you want to come to the UK to study English language course for between 6 and 11 months, which is going to replace the current route, the study must be at an accredited institution. And students who wish to come to the UK to study for 6 months or less may now do so under the visitors route. So the new visitors route between 6 to 11 months, a new visa route has been introduced, or is going to replace the old one. And then you can apply through that. However, if you are going to study for less than 6 months, then you have to apply through the visitors route. So visitor student route that you can apply. Maintenance levels are being increased from 1,265 to 1,334 per month inside London, and from 1,015 to 1,023 for courses outside London. Someone will say one positive change is that applicants can now rely on electronic bank statements without the need to basically be looking for a stamp ones through the banks. So that is something that we need to be aware of. Also, if students or their dependents have permission to work, they will no longer be prevented from working as a postgraduate doctor or dentist in training. So this is something, a route that is also going to benefit some people. If you are a student, dependent, and you have permission to work, you will no longer be prevented from working on a postgraduate doctor or dentist training. So people have to bear this in mind. There are also new forms for EEA nationals who have a chipped passport and are applying as a student dependents. Also, this is something that is also there. And also clarification that sponsors cannot access the initial B1 English level needed by students, but in certain circumstances where the student is going on to study at a degree level after a pre-sessional course, can self-assess that the student's English will improve to level B2. So as you are in the country, the government expects your English to improve. So next week, we'll be talking about the student route so that people will get a better understanding of what I am talking about. But those who are already familiar with the system, I believe that the changes, they will get a better understanding of the changes. But we will come next week and we'll talk about the student route so that we get a better picture. But because of time, I'm gonna bring the program to an end for now and activate the telephone lines so that those people who want to ask questions, those people who want to contribute can also call in and basically answer any question that they may wish. Thank you very much for joining us. The telephone numbers, as you can see, is pinned at the columns comment section. You can call in. The number is 07538 969 589. Thank you all for joining us. We've got our first caller on the line. Hello, welcome to Fire Life Radio and Justice and Law Solicitors. Me patrodi de say na kasa free.
Hello, good afternoon, lawyer.
Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Me patrodi me kasa free Scotland any friend me George.
Mr. George. Okay.
That's
now,
right.
and I no pay.
Okay. And then a simple question. I knew it was simple. I knew simple. So anyway.
Uncle.
Okay. As last week, my friend program, so I can say, this kind of 2.5 years, maybe from 2012. So, and since 2012, for my understanding, this very last month, and I'm submitting for my final your friend's extension. But this time, also from 2012, every time be a letter about almost say you have been granted leave to remain under the 10-year route. So every time be but last one we letter almost say you have been granted leave to remain under the 5-year route. I don't know because this is my last extension. Indefinitely, but I don't know why I have to switch me to 5-year route. I mean, which I did not even apply for that.
Yeah, do not worry about that, because what it is, they say only about your own. Rules they say so it me professor no banana for more than 2 years. Now we English test firstly, they will consider you on a partnership route and a 5-year route. Say only oba entia, they will put you on the 10-year route. So
sorry. Okay, sorry for interrupting because at the country America they say oba no me worry in 2011. And every time I make extension it be so maybe that's kind of English test and then life in the UK marriage certificate in account. I don't know, say for that long time, almost say me qualify under the 5-year route. I don't know much time me earlier on. Now after I'm training in every account, one pedal almost me.
Also, caseworkers, they have a discretion, and the caseworker may not have thought about it. So, and what the one say, we got 10 years now. No matter what it is, you qualify under the 10-year route for indefinite. And it's a under 10-year route or 5-year route. Quite the same concern. And personally, like I said, don't bother about it. As to the mature because 10 years in this one, you qualify anyway.
Okay.
Saying this, this week, yeah, small working, if you are to the client,
okay.
There be a application now. Okay, client didn't even me 2.5 years ago. The lawyer name saying up, I no buy. And to be home, not only visa, not the visa, and therefore, you're illegal.
That's right.
And at that point, some 5-year route, I am farmer because 5-year route, you must have existing visa. And today, some 10-year route in a man. You're quite a 10-year route in a year, and at this time, yeah, extension. And I'm so no banana for more than 2 years. 80 young request to say, won't treat you under the 5-year route. So that after 5 years, you get indefinite, so that I save you 2.5 years. And that's what we did. And you're the quiet, caseworker, or afraid, or say she's confused. And I'm saying, why are you confused? Or say, the client, or a 10-year route, but I am pleading, say, you're for into 5-year route. Why? Me church which now, or say, oh, thank you very much. And to submit to home office, we must not think they know everything. Says you are making what you're many panel. Only yesterday, or the 5-year route, man. Yeah, save my client, 2.5 years. And sometimes I'm seeing deeper. And we must not assume say they know everything. Sometimes we beat me for no man many panel proofing. And in Panabano, all lawyer no cancer, different from the what the home office are telling him. I feel in fact confused. Because now Pian say, will be a home office or be a home office or they are. And yes, who be as would be. But you'll be surprised. And Nuntina appeals echo quarter, Omulusu all the time. That should tell you, say, it's not all well at the home office. So, and therefore, these things do happen. But in our case, I'm happy for you. They say, Obikaye, Obroni, Bibini, any event say ohiani any sikani omu nyina omu wu a the same duka daya the BCB no 10 years ne so you qualify and you don't worry about a kwan kra wo fa so akodru indefinite no as long as you say udru ono no eno ne hia we be ka say go na me fefe.
Okay, so that means even though say almost switch me to 5-year route, there's no need to say further extension as long as because not normally na me feel say otisa route na on say yes na we twana ashegu I mean
enshimu adentina enshimu who say you what 10-year route to settlement and na Theresa May kofa by 2010 so into the fact is say well 10 years in itself no application form we have any settlement under other categories that alone qualify you for indefinite regardless of what route or what route. The fact is that what you come lawfully for 10 years you qualify for indefinite and I say what you come lawfully and unlawfully that's what 20 years and also you qualify to apply for leave to remain. It does not matter as long as you say we 10 years lawful stay no Dukadaya indefinite. And don't worry about it. Sebio akwes will be naked. Atadi say you blue, say you green, say you yellow. As long as you say what deja in one bonting. Now what the beshe, never kata so no de and here. And don't lose sleep over this.
Okay.
Why?
You want me as a lawyer? Okay.
Are you clear? There be 85 from diabetes, so I don't dress. I just was another 5 years and said when you're indefinite. Now,
okay.
Don't worry about it.
Be worried because almost stretching me out for so long. I mean, when you tell me qualify for 5 years, I didn't know a long time. One stretching me now, 10 whole years. You know, I mean, just.
Who say sometimes the problem is when they say, "Oh, your application, you know." I hear you busa will say, "Are you applying under the 5-year route or the 10-year route?" And to the AB as a lay person, no could choose a 10-year route.
The first one on the mom, you know, no almost because later they buy because Nami won't call so Nama worry about and Nami now as an may apply. It's the first one, almost you will be granted leave to remain under the partner / parent. So now I don't know which one is which, you know.
If your case work and I you're confused. Well, truly, me in national. It does happen, but the good thing is, it will be a original. So, 10 years next one, you lose nothing, you still qualify. And you don't worry about it. Yes, I was okay, bye bye for now. Okay, yes, Mama friend, I'm with me, friend. We go so I hear more calls. And you know, most of Monkoso and Frey. Number no 07538 969 589. You go so ye tremble call. And Crofo be Frey Tama ye agent from Scotland. And you know offer na se went me en rema. You be show peace free biem. Mema ye show no na me ka say lawyer mentimi en rem da bi. Ye show na ye phone no message na off offer me wi nyame. And you know mo ade bia mo ye last minute na yesre mo. Mama on fret last minute sa esa na a high agene. Ye nuanum bi at the detention center or mo face deportation. Any removal. As I speak to you, ye the people name Dugaville, nam Scotland do baby, and so be ano. E be so any impossible for baby, ship will be on the door mato. Enti many abrepa. And a quarter past I did you man ever ne we. Now just say yet me idea. Yet me a quackboa almost so. And Timon Frey, I want me and room now meeting your Frey. She said, I call Telford, Mr. Watcher Babylandi uncle.
Lawyer Medasi, a book, no, I'm a deman cranem and Saka.
Oh, yeah, then Yamiasi. How do you find it?
And Alopaya never the first paragraph, the first introduction, I'm here, Majus and can't pay one line in Tinea Kama. Oh, yeah, then Yamiasi. Empty book, it was heading.
Yes.
And son will be a good yaba.
Good. That was it. So what Frey now what confirm say also on Saka. Justice and Lord you can't yo. And I say book no a inspirational book because we live in a community I had bad stereotype any negativity no a dozen enti ye ma no sitimi e de we e hye o mase I said there is nothing that you can do. Sky is the limit. Na say motivate o ma. It will give them positive energy. Ama also babeye empanyinipa. A very good contribution to the world that we live in. Enti no sana etie. Enti da wasi pi sa won saka. I hope say it will inspire them. If you are dachi bi, on speaker say kenya lawyer na kedi book we bre me a akami nya vim e me ye we and I say me ye we. Enti da wasi pi Mr. Boache Manchester for nyina so ye de ye chiamo ye damasi. Sana etie. Enti ye damasi pi. Okay. Yenhwe ye call a biso so abba so sesia onso ba be kan yensa. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Nampacho din is na kase free.
Yes, I'm Chris now the Casafri London.
Chris from London. Ene awie ene anopay.
Yes, you kwa sorry na so hu pronia na wasa wechi because when you da pay.
Ada we share pronia na.
And I yes who home office now share lawyer that one na wasa wechi because what we
That's right. That's right. And also that's it. That's the papa neka no. Or say when home office all problem. Now we share justice and law like that any problem. And to when the monsempa.
Maybe me can come Wednesday, you know appointment it me dem me bon kaya keke.
Enya den. Nyame wo ho. Na problem bi aso ni wa solution any ho. Na aya na ni nyina eye ntobo ase anytime.
My dick half trauma. One month I receive moving tea. And I'm my book appointment until we heading out to Wednesday. Until Wednesday, you know appointment Wednesday. Until one me a bet to us you on the 100 me that was a I'm a be able to say. So we go home office panel we see lawyer Dako because we do it.
That's right. Yeah, that was it, Chris. Edia Wednesday, Yebekasa.
Wednesday, and now maybe you better Wednesday, and you have to do your money.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that was CP. Yami insure. Any confidence as well when you're ewimu. Now, like I said, any referral beyond, we will make sure say it is justified. Yami insure.
Since I've been in customer one assurance, honest, me lawyer don't have to say I can handle it. 99% you are true. Now, cattle case me to ya. Now we shake it.
That's right.
You know, I say, I'll catch him and say, when I did that one meeting, that's correct. That's
right. And can here, you think when we dear, you were addy. Now, a year so ubedru. Sanity, yes, penny for the car, yes, you fear. A quan was said the other day, if you are one.
Me don't sure. Let's have bad and Trinity catch up. We are thinking, I say,
that's right. Yeah, that's it, Chris. Winning your man and Tenassi. Maybe a Vesa Casabi. Why? Wednesday, so no, Yabekasa. But was it? Thank you very much. One that's right. Bye bye for now. Bye. Okay. I mean, say, a job watching Cassandri, Yintidia or Sadeba, na Yonkoyanim. So, person fra or number no 07538 969 589. Say, oh, question be a bit me afraid, sir. A job watching was our landing.
Let me say my view.
Oh, well, yeah, sorry. Vima Chris the Bayan will be boo Mukrama IPA toy. I now know a thing. A job watching uncle. Oh, no problem.
Okay, my question is, I said that we want me to be and the Bian, the kind of say, a case being the same, it could be similar, but not the same. See, maybe I said, say, settlement scheme, dear, amount for your family members, many pebby, not on look at 2.5 or then about a year. Now, Niniawaha, to whom settlement scheme, and I saw 2 settlement scheme, and I'm so be so between me. Say we genuinely and also Eddie Ibin. What the Ninian website, and no so website, I say, on my men on Papa Dean United. essay. I'm not, and yes, I say the same. The same. No, what's the address of our custom? And what is a settlement scheme? Or avoid this, I secretary, I never find. But on the results by no, much than cancer behind judge, but you won't kind of say, well, provided enough evidence and support to, you know. But let me be saying, or they, my men and papa, what they in the same Yaku, they said no prove a family member, and no one knew. And I said, we will be on my wine, and I said, a deal with me. And I said, maybe because of say, or no 2.5 on Intino, or person of coffee, and it's Canada. And I said, with me at Chimaka, na Nihuna, meeting at Chichi much than the entire young family.
Me that was he said, Obusa question way. Na Sanya Mano, you don't be bracquay. I'm a sister making Obi visa. I say, I feel over started 10 years. We're just 7.5 years old. Or T say, ye use settlement scheme. Ana onusuko yebi. Na ode kwaye no, o man in krata no eda ho. No, ono kwado kwaye Zambrano. O man in krata ne da ho 1 year. E man 2.5 years ni wi. And send on the rejection letter breno. And that means he said from the time of refusal, anytime the saka de no no. Wababe ye overstay. And therefore wababe ye illegal. Application kwaye ni emfama no. Ana say so kakwaje extension. There has been a break. It's happened also have started 10-year route to be. And to question at the buy no, and then we no. As long as I can say on to Nigerian. Because the reason is say we a family member of an EU national. I say we prove say we a family member. I don't know the birth certificate in the corner. And it's a honey there, what take a box no. Okay. They pass it. The second test they say, are you financially dependent on the EU national? Financial dependency. Home Office expect a bank statement showing say uniano or transfer Skabawa accounting on a regular basis for a substantial period of time prior to your entry to the UK and since you entered the UK up to the time of the application. If you're 2.5 years visa, or so about Obia also depend on Uniaso. What form of independent family life no be ako jinaso e dey 2.5 years. Osi when you dodo enti say no we dependent on your brother enti enfama. Na Mr. Boachi opa na kaye home office ade na ka be. Oh enti e mistake agana for ya na e. Ade efo bia ne boarding on. Na olimpo de bia ne tiri na ye. So that's why visa na o lose na adwuma. E bia lose o madwuma mtifi as I speak to you. Obi asabi o sabi o. O jiska pay modu. And so fear obetua no. On person obetua into o dodge. Ama say what na fie be 4 months. O ye adwuma nke betua wo ka o. Ye ntwa wo ka kurekuru ma be £1,200. 4 months na ye say. E ye £4,800. Entwa fee na emebinka. But a decision individuals have to make. And you know, and on yet mean for so be say menko yes ade no. Ye de eto okoye na atehwe a ya da komba me fa mo nche. Me be boat rim meji medi. Because Miss Meduma no. So, it is sanity here. A bibia among for your mistakes no. They keep doing it. Until a good so besides our question no. Now I'm hoping say there are two say any pay. Obi be no dey shame bibia free. Are very important. Why? It's
now, the okay. You said, what about say, Enka, only say 2.5 no, and only she, and our best set, no, and my man, Papa didn't yet the same, no, the core, you know, and the core, because financial dependence, ye be the panonim crapa, and the only bank statement, but or to fear honor, and also shows be out if you are only crap and there. Ninian na be a tomani di or Butia Naka won't but he be only craft and when me bank statement anko. maybe on the website no kwa na unikra ta 2.5 no bia. What is this one different from the first one we just spoke about?
Same difference. A chromwa on your principle be say, he who alleges must prove it. He who claims must prove it. And for example, what me anka say obi awia wade e wa bra woni evidence. What me anka say uni anehwe e wa bra woni evidence. And the home office when the monti we case o. When I was uni anehwe wa prove it. Simple. What me prove wa ye mfa man. And no sanity. And the burden is on him to prove he say before somebody be UK no na ni nua na hwe no and obey UK no ni nua na a continue ahwe no because any pass my year can a very possible says time only 2.5 years no can no use different address no use ni an address after convenience by there usu ni nua na tie mfa ma hwe broni wodi ni diri a anwoma wodi ma wo se fedi agro wodi bedi agro sa na wodi ahwe kon na wona bu nsese ehye so and you know sanity and you know unfortunately me make a chance more wasting the time the 2.5 years no and you know crowd we need so and you better than nothing
yeah
but what I say
yeah we da
so yeah any woman the bebo no why
that's no bana there
because yes a shortcut bia no e da wu afa
okay
ai e da sipi e jabo achi ai ye chi o me nyina so I'm for be good so pa antino yen try na yen free be back na yen hwe almost a more free mbetimi a continue afre oma no mugu so na yen timi mfa nyina so me try asa me free mo back e bia na contribution mo dey ba so beboa yen nuano ebi mo antino that is how it is. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, lawyer. Me that say wa free me back.
Oh, na mpacho di say na ka say free he.
Pacho mami me report man e ka say.
Mami Boatman.
Me ka say free Dawson.
Mami Boatman from Dawson Akwaba.
Na asema me kan say ma me bo aba so pa lawyer wa ya de pa ni papa no o ya de a ni gun SG nchira.
That's right.
Ni din so nkrofo keka e me yete. Enti yete wi ase ne ye adwuma bi a yenye ni yie. Said the lawyer back for yenye yie no. Because we are here, we to about to. Na Mr. Boachi, lawyer, person, Busan of them Kakra. Wa beti president, wa mekan wasem, wa mekan wasem. Enti me sreno. Anya sa na sa ma de chebi anko no hobi. Because we be gia de no went me anka mu wasem a. Na ha, na mfo se book no. O be kan wasem ma yenti se nkwala na ni chwa. And I say, "What you say? That's so then, you know, so that you the same thing." And you make up what you made them monitor radio, me here, but you won't tell me, you know, some mechanical. The lawyer, after that, I feel mechanical. Yeah, I won't come when I'm on friend. I say, almost slow, to a more panic, you said, you, but you could run your finger, said the bay and lawyer, should be up why I may, yeah, pay. The lawyer made that 15, I'm sure. Yeah, there was a part before, so because I said, with you in defense of Mr. Boachino. I was sending text and there was a time so na me say link no na ontimi enya enti no otwema dwene baaso e say memfa kwan foforo bi so na memfa send man krofo aya e manie easy fa ema omo ensa etimi eka enti no de wa wi ni nyina no wadi kan adamase off stage na me say those I am said those times now ontimi nya link no because or send me sad and say they struggle to get the link into or tell me kwan foforo meet me afa so e dia send dia man krofo which I've been doing and because of that you know me hu say me yes sad no time bia no o follow a live enti bia enuti na e ma ne ba sa no e ba sa
na Mr. Bachi de wo ye ni papa no de na maybe ma no aka odi ni case breme any case complications ba mu ye fight case enya ye case ne kra no so obi pe lawyer from Telford from Manchester no I say na daji no so ni panesa no de na ba justice law on chere ni pa no o so ni sa de neba o no yi ni sika e de fa transportation wa musa me damada enti eni pa de obi ye bibia you steady So now also no nipa ya dia osayi. Enti me or one of the people as long as I continue to live, I will never forget them. And not there I have to say.
That lawyer, original lawyer name
aye, why are there pa?
Program no so far.
Sir. And I see why? And Crawford because my Roma, some more do a dance here, and I'm more send them on Crawford, more do Deuru, more bon Deuru, because this week, me say me twa Anna will be frame. Now, me say make too much details. On your chrono, there's say, or yeah, you know, if you more. Our entry clearance officer. Or no person of any crew, and so also open legal advice.
Yes.
After me to us, say, any program so much, and I have to think this. So, Emma, any penny bony ding, I will be with dim. Said you or call him kakra. Or numpa, or no making decisions, or no coffee kuraba, or so seek advice.
Yes.
Or Pelaya, I represented. On peso benyasem, and then you say, onim emrano, onim pa. As was it there? Or frame or catching me plain. Or say, Lawyer Darko, I got your number from a gentleman that I've known for some time. You know, my husband is a Ghanaian. You were a ma sing. What kind of background you me? Baby, what you doing now? You didn't call Ghana British High Commission in Ghana. Post now, any baby as you say, or Juma, or can you naturally? Oh, I mean, in the Dinko Archer say, I or him a crab on a bustle. So, I mean, in the Dinko, what you say, one I just say, may lay down the and also beg the documents in no baby who because Niku no insists to say, go to Lawyer Darko. And I'm saying, now, 100 number you ma or so any pan person bunity.
Yes.
And you know, to be honest, sometimes I sit there. Na me say Yankopon shira me pa. A man from Ashtown. A man from Ashtown. Not in a million years. Did I dream say Sebio meet me ababa ya adwuma we ama sanyina ebomidi.
Yes. Last week to say you did employment as them say the two acquire research you didn't have a tuja ama say the woman be a first one basket that should be so the man for year you man ba the sana ya may advise you almost say won't pay when happening sanity tini na nhyira ana eye adom yes ti yeda masipi okay bye for now. Bye. Okay Mr. Sun okay yanko self fra usubetimi afre number no e the same 07538 969 589 usu ubetimi afre let me see a time no yasom enti so pese ofre dia ramuntem na yentimi emfa wo question na yenko ye name. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon again.
Aye, yanko.
That we me and Tibi no also say meet me busamana because on also akakra na the 10 years now so but the problem is we excuse me say one co school so on onim akenkan onim atronti English language is life in the UK test na asema mano so na obisa say meet you say I don't know or no one co school want me Ghana want me no. Let's say, I don't know, this one has 65 years and son, which me I just born and I said it.
Aye, that is an option. Yes, that is an option, but there is a better option.
Okay.
You see, make us the same way. Me patrol, maybe I'm a friend, every man me pressure. I was idea with you. Once I was sister, what can I say me? Or with genuine reasons in tear, won't me. But Obi Honma, Oba could you 150 acquire testing on. Was a lawyer that considers another way to me the mingo to ya, Miss Evu Misika. So, enti adwene na wo didi akire no. Enye papa. So ho, enti best p. Se test no betimi aye, education wo nanim kakra ko tua na ye. Na emmom, omo genuinely, omo ntimi nye test no. There is exemption. Exemption wo hono. Na exemption no, say firstly, e wo se enipa no etimi ko hu ni GP ni doctor na sa problem no odi to nanim ma on twen e matam ne nso ansa because it must go on record enti e ko record so na be hu me te selo ya da ko there is some questions bi metimi asend akoma GP no because of say the GP is already aware of your situation. The GP may carry out an assessment. So the GP may carry out assessment. Now o conclude say psychologically you are not fit to take that tester. Made me series of questions na come doctor na. Oba trust our report na mami. Into trauma me we can apply for the exemptions.
Okay.
So same way my bia mama for I'm not going to deny that. Nembum se nipa ni problem no ba me mboda me ho. Because my reputation is also on the line.
That's right. Because
at the end of the day no me ko didi animu na me the one call e the many pa no me the two ko home office e the many pa no third one ne ko tija fourth one me the kwa home office I will lose credibility. Sanem rofuti o se broni jiwudi a maninji windi. Se ukototo papa so na koye mistake ba ku bia afa gidie ni nyina no na ayede akọ waste enti abesre mo betimi aye test no mo hia mo de be test no we can guide you but what won't mean ye to say what situation na enye ne fault so
and on class them say our vision issues ka class also count I think say
ni nyina betimi aboa no
okay
so to get in touch but the first thing say eso no ye underground work you know so more because what cannot happen is or it's not good to happen is GP netwa na me bombarding with questions odin do de kwa koye na gen say why what is this my job is to look after patients not to be writing reports into on feel so more and you know say GP your template or meet me a guide GP so hiamwa unsenya ne field and you know we can work something out around that.
Okay, you me catch me da wase don't lawyer.
No problem. Muntini ya waha. You don't want to
Right.
Okay. And me say your time no. Aye be obi ka your time no aso amana brusumpo. Intino mo frɛ ya montimi enwrem no. Yesra mo next week. Ye be sai ababiem. Ye de dwumadie no esoso ebeba na wieye because amanfo di dem a pressure dam so pa na me de tia na mo no. Metie nyina no enkrofo fra na eye die frɛ me enti no be di dwumadie no ebeba na wieye ya program no nearly 2.5 hours enie enti no ye beko na sebio die obi asoso ewo ye no one so etimi akwakoye no this Saturday na la yadakon me de biankasa asemwe me de na ase ema obi biara ekromua se obi spende 1 second of his life and I say it's time emawa febu mano pa because ekromua enough before say obimpo ebe se na daji wo ho no na che se oni akro no wo show edobi na amount me de bia meka sa asemwe obi a waye opapada ana se obi a wanoa ama wadida memfa wonsa bunkum entene ne so menyi na abomfia na sebio ana se maame ne se yenka sebio o se e wo kan sebio eso ka se sebi se wo kan dia ne eso ka se sebio ne e ba akope enju ka se sebio ana akoye tautology makasa amana kame ho obi ni mo obi kire o se meda wase any your contribution enti sebi so be say any time 1 minute of his time crowd wo ho a fabu any die ma no na ewi ase de if you humble yourself at the oko far. If you want to get far, you go with the group. If you want to go alone, and I say if you want to get there faster, you go alone. Kachiraba, what the young kachire na yanko yenim. Kachire na te say. Hello, kachire na te say.
Me bacha you.
Na fatwodi de say na dey ni betimi ayama.
Ai doctor, lawyer.
Maji from the doctor why. Yes, you ma hinu na we dia. Yeah, my hidden when you are champion crabo. My family is
Lawyer, the problem is may pay a council for that we wouldn't insurely keep farming. And I used to be a bomb, silly, no, a collapse, a big gummy so. Nah, maybe I'm my lawyers. Emma, lawyers, no fee for criminal for be. And now I'm synchro for say, and some night echosono, and yes, I was say, yeah, blah blah blah, you know. I'm not entitled to get anything from them. None of no, it's not true because first of all, insurely here, every family, man. And no, one more buy a own bay, just only leaking in Kwan, or man yet a Jumebian camp, in the ceiling collapse. In tea, my trauma. Ma meniema say mubusa me say meniema no wete say maje price no nti say mo free say menya entitled to get anything ka wo musa me say me fa price mamo second 4 months in the ceiling ni collapse ye eno nso mu yimi free ha me call ye ba ye me duane go fridge mu nyina say nti no na me hu ne me yes say nti me decide say be fro na me no waka nti na me watch we ya na I have to call you.
Okay, fantastic. No fee for now. Mo fa womono. Omo fa experts. Emo ba ho be check it to see the cost. Okay, I think first, I mean, you need to the damage now, has it been repaired and ancestor sanity?
Well, my repair.
Wow. Okay. At the time, no, them fee say here. I said they need to establish the cause. So of course, a chromo where there is a blame, there is a claim. So you need to establish what actually caused it. And in contract law, because we are tenant of the landlord, we call something reasonable foreseeability. Given that the property was in that state of maybe disrepair, no? Was it reasonable to foresee as a ceiling, no, a big collapse? If the answer is yes, they are, then as a landlord, you also have an obligation under the terms of the lease, you know, to provide safe environment for your tenant to reside in. And you know, I'm a bit confused and concerned, kakra. I say, lawyers for mono. They are just saying, so, almost saying you're 14, it's not making sense.
And then the funny thing, lawyer, my didn't mamma, or your gun, and your fellow.
Remember, remember,
oh, I didn't what I will radio so.
You're radio so. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Any come actually, why? Any come actually.
But to you, to your phone program now, my friend.
Okay, no problem.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Okay. I say more. Yeah. Okay. I'm saying you you know you'd be on the way now after no it's me idea. Atwaso for other things we need to do for the weekend. Medinyame eja obia nyame enhira mu nyina. Like I say, I thank you for your support over the years, and I thank you for your support today. Nyame enhira mu nyina. Nyame enhira obi biara. Enyumi so ye bo na obi a ne bibia ahwenu bia. Ene eye bi enkrofo ye bia no omfa enkyekire omore na adofo ana ehwere adofo. Enti no obi bia free ma fa kyekire ore. Nyame enhira mu nyina. Shalom. Ye be share next week. Bye bye.